Without the military behind him yet, does Venezuela's opposition leader Juan Guaido need help from the U.S. now more than ever? My next guest is one of the most prominent voices for advocating for our military to have a role in what's going on in Venezuela. Let's bring in Senator Rick Scott, a Republican from Florida who just visited the Venezuelan border. Governor too, and now Senator.
I still sign. If you stop me in the Capitol, I forget and I sign governor.
Well, both. They both fit, right? Okay, but let me ask you, because obviously, as formerly Florida's governor, I mean, you see a lot of the impact, in what's happening down there. And now you've been to the border on the Colombian side. What did you see? Well,
first off, there's a lot of Venezuelans in our state, and they clearly care about this, what's going on there. So I went down there, and I went to Cucuta, and your heart goes out to them. I talked to school children that they had to cross a river. That day, the water was up to their chest. And, these little girls, walking by themselves, a couple hours to get over there because there's a school they get to go to and they get food. Went to a food kitchen where the USAID pays for it, 5,000 meals. It's the only meal. And if you get either rice or beans and some soup, these moms are just on the beach, on the street and by themselves. It's really dangerous, and so I went to where we have a lot of aid at a different bridge, but they wouldn't let us come across, and so your heart goes out to them. This is genocide. What Maduro's doing is he is intentionally killing his citizens. So I believe it's time for American military and the military of every democracy around the world to say enough's enough. We're going to stop this genocide. Let's take the humanitarian aid in. Let's save these citizens. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, are you worried about sort of being at this tipping point right now? A lot of people who are supporting Guaido were more hopeful that there would be more military defections at this point, more folks joining in the street, although there have been thousands. What do you think needs to happen at this moment? And are you potentially advocating for U.S. military involvement on the ground beyond something along the lines of humanitarian aid? Well, here, let's think about what's going to happen. If Maduro doesn't step aside, all right, so we can all think about what we'd like to do, but let's look at reality. If Maduro doesn't step aside, all the bad actors are there. Russia's there, China's there, Iran's there, Hezbollah's there. We're going to have a Syria. It's going to impact Colombia, it's going to impact Panama, it's going to impact Brazil, it's going to impact all the countries in that region. And then what? They're 2,000 miles from Florida. They can come right up through Central America, up through Mexico, into the United States. We already know there are terrorists trying to come across our border. So this is going to make it way worse. So we can all decide, oh gosh, we're worried about, using our military. But let's remember, if Maduro doesn't step aside, we will have a Syria there eventually. Okay, I want to play something from a Democratic Congresswoman. This is freshman Ilhan Omar, and she's talking about the U.S. and getting involved in Venezuela in some way. Here's what she says.
A lot of the policies that we have put in place has kind of helped lead the devastation in Venezuela. And we've sort of set the stage for where we are arriving today. This particular bullying and the use of sanctions.
So how much is the U.S. to blame for the current situation?
Maduro's made the decision to kill his citizens. Maduro's made the decision to be a murderer. Maduro's made the decision to not let in humanitarian aid. Maduro's made all these decisions. And so America is trying to bring democracy there and freedom there for these, and just think about these little kids. But no, she is completely wrong. She ought to go down there. A lot of these people that are absolutely just pure socialists, why don't they go live in Caracas? Why don't we see all these people move into Caracas? No, because you're going to starve to death. No food, no water, no medicine. She's completely wrong. Let me quickly ask you. It's disgusting, really, what these people say.
Let me ask you about the foreign influence here, because obviously Russia, Cuba, China, and others have been singled out as being supportive of propping up the Maduro regime. The president has warned Cuba that a full embargo could be coming if they don't get uninvolved with the situation. Our Secretary of State, Pompeo, has talked now with his counterpart in Russia. Here's Russia's take, the foreign ministry, on that phone call. They say it was stressed on the Russian side that Washington's interference in the internal affairs of a sovereign state, the threat against its leadership, is a gross violation of international law. Russia pointing the finger at us.
There's a National Assembly, okay? They elected Juan Guaido as leader of the National Assembly. Under their constitution, Juan Guaido is the interim president, okay? Maduro is not, he did not get elected in a real election, so Juan Guaido is the leader. Now, Russia's just a bad actor. Cuba is the one that's basically keeping this Maduro in power. So I support everything the president's doing to hold the Castro regime accountable. All of our problems in this hemisphere, in Nicaragua, in Venezuela, are caused by the Castro regime. So the sanctions, all this stuff should happen against them.
All right, we will continue to watch day by day as this plays out. Senator, thank you, and Governor, for stopping in. Good to see you.
Nice seeing you again.